Welcome to BIS for the fans, that cool show that I make just for you guys. Today we're going to be talking in this episode, we're going to talk about our featured AFOL, Jayfa. We're going to answer some of those audience questions, and I'm going to take a look at a fan-submitted mock, and we're also going to have a fun discussion about LEGO conventions and why they're awesome. So, let's go! Our featured AFOL today is, of course, Jayfa, and he is an outstanding builder who's very active in the Bionicle community. He posts very often on Instagram and on Flickr, and here is a collective photo that he posted of everything he made in 2018, which is a lot of really cool, really solid and awesome stuff. Pretty awesome. Well done, Jayfa. This is, of course, Jayfa's self-mock, named Jayfa. He updates it fairly often. Not all pictures of every single update are still available online at the moment, but it's very cool to see him constantly get updated pretty much every year, sometimes even more than once during the year. It's really awesome to see Jayfa improving his self-mock as he himself improves, which is awesome, and the two of them definitely improve a lot. They're both very talented people. Look, I'm sure his self-mock is a very talented person. I've never met him, I don't know him, but I'm sure both of them are very talented people, because Jayfa himself is a very talented person. So this is the latest version of Jayfa, which he only recently just posted, and on this most recent post on his Flickr, he promises lots of new and exciting stuff coming in 2019. So I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited about that. I'm very excited to see what's in store from our boy Jayfa. So Jayfa is also an Australian AFOL, such as I, and he is also a jazz pianist, which is pretty freaking awesome. He's been posting mocks since 2017, so he's actually not been around for all that long, but he still has a lot of awesome stuff in that limited time that he's been here. Jayfa participated in the super secret Secret Santa collab, building this awesome version of Gamma Ray's self-mock. Very awesome mock. Very awesome guy. But of course he's built a lot of other awesome stuff, and I'll be showing you a bunch of that as I'm talking throughout this. In fact, you've already been seeing some, so huzzah. He also posts a lot of work in progress photos over on his Instagram, so if you're interested in seeing some of those, be sure to give him a follow on that platform. Jayfa's build style is really cool. He focuses on this sort of awesome, smooth, kind of beast-like aesthetic at times. Sometimes some of the things can be a little more kind of spiky, but everything's very organic, smooth, and very natural. A few of his mocks have this really fantastic, smooth-flowing, beast-like look to them, and they look straight out of some kind of awesome sci-fi movie. So there's really a lot to love in the way that Jayfa builds. But his style has definitely evolved over the years, which is really cool to look at, and we're going to do so now. So a lot of Jayfa's early stuff is very detailed, very kind of greeble heavy. Nowadays, though, his stuff is a lot more sort of simplistic, a lot more smooth, and this is sort of in comparison to his past stuff, which is a little bit, more busy. And while the things he builds in the past are still actually really fantastic, awesome mocks, I love to see how he now takes this more kind of less is more approach to his stuff, and really focuses on the organic styles and organic shapes in everything that he builds. It honestly makes his stuff really stand out from the crowd. And on that, Jayfa's had a lot of really awesome accomplishments in his time in the Bionicle community. He won second place in the 2018 Bio Cup, which is no small feat. Good job, good sir. And pretty much everything he entered in that competition was absolutely awesome. So really nice job, good sir. He also received an honorable mention and won third and first place in my top 10 Bionicle mocks of 2018 video, which is also pretty rad, so go Jayfa. Jayfa sometimes also makes use of some awesome custom painted masks, and these are painted by his girlfriend, and here is her awesome self-mock next to Jayfa. Jayfa also actually lives fairly close to a one Luigi 1456 Andrews, and the two of them are good friends, and sometimes, have fun mocking together at each other's houses, which is also pretty cool. Slightly jealous. Jayfa also has some pretty awesome system robots that he builds from time to time. This is, of course, one of them. But, if we're talking about things that Jayfa builds, we can't not talk about Plague Mechs. So, Plague Mechs are a series of insect, arachnid, and arthropod-themed robots created in this war between two rival inventors. Jayfa's made a whole bunch of Plague Mechs in his time, and so has the rest of the Bionicle community, which is really cool. So earlier in 2018, Jayfa held a contest in which contestants were challenged to make their own Plague Mechs, and 8 of these entries were put into the canon of the Plague Mech universe that Jayfa himself has written and created, which is pretty freaking cool. And so cool, in fact, that I made a whole BIS episode about Plague Mechs. So if you want to learn a little bit more about Plague Mechs, or you want to learn a little bit more about Jayfa, go and check out that episode of the Bionicle Inspiration series, as well as the podcast that I did with Jayfa as well, because it was an hour of talking with Jayfa, which is a good time. So be sure to check those out. There'll be links in the description to those episodes. So that's it for our featured builder in this episode of BIS for the Fans. Now, let's have a little bit of a chat about a fan-submitted mock, which is by Israel, and is called Akarium Eldon of Destruction. Really cool mock. Really, really awesome head design here. Absolutely love how that looks. It's very system heavy. It's a little bit bigger and awesome, and it's kind of got this interesting kind of bug-like effect almost. At least that's kind of how I see it. It also kind of looks like this cool kind of helmet or something. I think it's really cool. I like the little spikes there, sort of forming that little mouth there. Looks kind of sinister, looks kind of awesome. And I also really like how he's added these Skrull swords on the back here. It's kind of gives this cool sort of decorative cape effect or something, kind of just, I don't know. I don't know quite what you'd word it as, but this sort of interesting back decoration of some kind. And it really kind of helps with the silhouette of this mock, really helps him look a lot more sort of sinister and evil, which very much fits with the overall mood and name of this mock and everything. It's pretty awesome. I like it a lot. Also, very cool color scheme too. The sort of trans green, gunmetal, little bits of black and red there. Really pops, really looks cool. It kind of reminds me of a sort of, I don't know, it gives me this kind of like bug-like effect, which, you kind of take a look at some of the Mystica Makuta, they were quite bug-like, and to some degree that kind of made them look a little bit more evil, a little bit more sinister, and I think this mock has a very similar atmosphere to that. I think it's pretty cool, so always nice when you can play off of the aesthetics of a specific wave of Bionicle. That's always pretty cool. Also really like the sort of system waist cape thing he's got here, using some of these curved slopes there to sort of form this kind of waistcoat effect, and then adding in that cape at the back there to kind of continue that across is pretty awesome. I really like that. Another thing I like about this is how heavily this uses CCBS. You take a look at these upper legs here. It's a really cool looking sort of design there, using those sort of dual CCBS bones, very similar to something you might see on like Witch Doctor or Black Phantom or something, some of those awesome sets. And then there's some very nice integration between Bionicle pieces and general CCBS stuff throughout this. It's pretty awesome. I really, really like how that looks. Great to see someone using CCBS so effectively and then combining that with Bionicle as well. Really, really nice to see. Really, really cool. So nice work, Mr. Ezreal. Very nice mock. Really like what you did. So now it's time to answer some of those audience questions. Man, we are only 8 minutes into the episode. We are making good time. Probably less than that, because when I cut it down, it'll be even less than that. Heck yeah, making great time, guys. Let's go. So, I'm going to answer some audience questions. If you want to ask some of your own questions, you can always just leave them in the comments below, or normally before I do a BIS for the Fans episode, I post out on my Instagram story. I say, hey, I need some questions, and you can say them there. So, let's answer some audience questions. My chair is squeaking. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's squeaky chair time, guys. My chair is clearly excited that we're answering audience questions. Maybe it has a question of its own. We'll see. Anyway, first question that we have is by mail.true, and he asks, how was your year for building and growth in popularity? Well, my year for building was pretty good, sir. I made at least 28 mocks. I did a count before I posted this, or before I recorded this episode. Roughly 28. It might be a little bit more than that. It might be a little bit more than that. And then there's some that I didn't count because they're like 99% done, or like I haven't posted it yet, or something like that. I made a lot. I managed my time really well last year, and I was able to build a fairly good amount of mocks, and a lot of them, actually all of them I was very proud of. So it was a pretty good year for making mocks. Would have liked to have made a few more Bionicles, but the few that I did make I was pretty happy with. Really, really happy with, actually. But I'll definitely make some more Bionicle mocks in 2019. Of course, I'm talking about my year in mocks for 2018, by the way. So yeah, made a lot. Really happy with all those. And so then you asked my growth in popularity. I don't know, I don't really do this for popularity. I don't know, that word confuses me. I don't know, I don't, like, I'll see some people and they'll be all like, oh, I gained this amount of followers this year, or da-da-da. And yeah, cool, like, I definitely, it's interesting to just see, like, oh, cool, I got this many subscribers, or oh, cool, I got this many followers, but I don't know, it doesn't mean much to me. I don't really do this for that. I don't do this for the numbers. I don't do this for the likes or anything like that. I kind of, to be honest, don't really care about that. I would rather engage with people in the community. I'd rather inspire people. I would rather reach the goals that I have of inspiring people to create and build awesome new stuff and generate new and exciting ideas, and just to inspire self-belief in people and just encourage like positivity and stuff in the community. That's why I do this. That for me is what this is about, as well as just making cool stuff and having fun building Lego. So in terms of that in 2018, I was really freaking happy with that, to be honest. I got so many messages from so many different people saying like, thanks for what you do on the channel and stuff. I really appreciate it. It's helped inspire me so much, and da-da-da. And that always warms my heart. That's always so nice to hear, because that's why I do it. I do it to inspire people. And so it was great to hear that and great to see that. And even just too, like, if I feature someone on a BIS episode and they're like, oh my god, it's made my day, I'm like, yeah, that's really cool. But yeah, I was pretty happy with that. And especially too, I put out a lot of content that I was really happy with. And so if I'm happy with it, then that's cool. That's good. Like, I don't want to put out stuff that I'm not happy with, because then kind of, I don't know, what's the point? So I was really happy with how last year went in terms of Lego and in terms of reaching the goals that I have for the channel and the content that I produce. So yeah, it was pretty good. Good year of building, good year of goal reaching for Lego. Pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Yeah. Next question is by Dr. Donny Boy, PhD. Glad to see you have a PhD, good sir. And your question is, what kind of sets or unused themes do you think Bionicle G2 could have used had it not been cancelled? It's a cool question. Well, when I first read this, I wrote little notes down, and then I reread the question. I was like, oh, you asked for G2. So I actually have some answers for what G1 could have used if had it not been cancelled. And these were things we were actually going to get, but hearing about them again, I'm like, I wish we got that. The Bacteria as sets. The Bacteria were this cool kind of like, I can't remember fully their lore, but I think it was something like they're this kind of large scale, like, similar to the Borok to some degree. Like, they were this kind of disease thing that kind of would kind of exterminate Skrull and other people on Barra Magna. And we were supposed to get them as sets, and they had a really cool like look to them. I would have loved to have seen those as sets. So I always would have loved Bacteria. I always thought they were really cool. I remember doing a comic on Mock Pages where I made my own Bacteria, and I never took pictures of it because I had it built for ages, but I wanted to save its, like, I wanted it to save showing off that mock until it appeared in the comic. But I never finished that comic, and I never actually took photos of the Bacteria, and I ended up taking it apart. But it was actually a really cool Bacteria. I wish I had taken photos of that because it was cool. And then the other thing I want to see is, apparently we were supposed to go to Boda Magna at some point, which would have been cool, because we spent so long on Aqua Magna, and we spent a little bit of time on Barra Magna. I wish we went to Boda Magna, and apparently there would have been all these awesome Bionicle dinosaurs, which that is the coolest thing I've ever heard. Why didn't we get Bionicle dinosaur sets? That would have been awesome. So I wish that had come out in Bionicle G1. But to answer your question, what unused themes or sets would you like to have seen in Bionicle G2? Anything from the art book? Like, so much of that art book, if you take a look at it, some of those things look awesome. I would have loved to have seen basically anything from that. But if I had to pick one thing, I would love to have seen that Dark Ice Kupaka. Seeing Kupaka with a darker color scheme, and that looks so cool. I don't know how that would have fit into the story. Like, maybe Kupaka goes like corrupt in the same way like Vakama did in the original story. I wish something like that happened, because man, that would have been awesome, and it would have made a cool set, especially getting like Kupaka masks in black or something. That would have been so cool. I would have loved to have seen that. So that's high on my list of what could have been, what I would have liked. Of course, as well, the big old Makuta that we were supposed to get, that I would have liked. I think it would have been cool to see more vehicles. I always loved some of the vehicles that Bionicle produced, especially some of the last stuff with like Scorpio, or even some with like the Mystica wave, like the Alaxia V9 or whatever it's called. Oh, that stuff was cool. Would have loved to have seen some of that. So yeah, like CCBS vehicles and stuff. I think that would have been really awesome. And then finally, I would have actually really liked to have seen them. Like, I love that they brought back the original 6 Toa with like Tahu and everyone. But it would have been interesting if, as later waves kept happening, it would have been cool if they were like, oh, here's Huki and not Gully, Nokama, or I don't know, like a bunch of the other guys. Like, we maybe get like the Toa Metru or the Toa Anaika or Toa Mari or something. I don't know, technically those are the same guys. But still, getting other waves of Toa remade in the G2 style in the same way that we did with the original wave. I think that would have been really, really cool. I don't know how that would have fit in with the story, because there's all that stuff of like, with like the Vahi and the fact that the Toa Mata came from the sky in the same way that they kind of did in the first story. They kind of came from the whatever. Yeah, so I don't know how that would have fit into the story, but still, I think that would have been really, really cool to have seen something like that. Yeah, that would be my answer to that question. And then the final question we have today is by Christopher1351, and he asks, how many times have you been to a LEGO convention, and would you recommend going to one? And this leads us nicely into the next section of the show, in which I'm going to be talking about LEGO conventions. So, have I been to a LEGO convention? Or how many times have I been to a LEGO convention? Many, many times. I'm about to, probably by the time this episode's out, I will have already gone to Brickvention. But as of now, let me check the countdown app on my phone. That's how excited I am. Currently, at the time of recording this, I have 4 days, 9 hours, 45 minutes, and 15 seconds until Brickvention 2019. That's how freaking excited I am. So, how many times have I been? I've been to Brickvention. This will have been the 7th time that I've been to Brickvention. Technically the 8th, because I went once just to look, and then I've been and displayed currently now 7 times. I go to Bricktober in Perth every year, which I've been to that 3 or 4 times now. I can't remember. I want to say 3. I've been to Brickworld Chicago. I've looked at Brickworld Chicago for 2 years, but I'm getting ping pongs on the computer. I should have muted that. My bad. So now I lost my train of thought. Thank you, ping pong from probably Facebook or Discord. I don't know. So yeah, Bricktober, Brickworld. I went to Brickworld when I was younger, and I just looked, and then I actually displayed at Brickworld a couple of years ago. And then I've probably been to others that I'm not thinking of right now, but I've been to a fair few. So I've been to conventions more than 10, maybe 12 times or something like that. I've been to a lot. And I've loved every single minute of it, and I couldn't recommend it more. I always see people being like, I've never been to a LEGO convention. I'm like, why? Why have you not? You're missing out so much. They're so much fun. They're so much fun. You get to just spend however many days the convention is looking at cool LEGO, talking to LEGO people, meeting friends that you've met online. You get to buy LEGO, and cheap LEGO too. Like, it's very rarely overpriced, unless the people who sell stuff are, I don't know, charging more than they should be. But that very rarely happens, and all the time I've been at conventions, I think that's only happened once, and then they're like, oh, we're not selling anything, we should lower the prices. And then on top of that, you know, there's competitions and stuff. The amount of free LEGO I've walked away with at every LEGO convention, just because that's how they work, people give stuff away, is incredible, it's great. I think you're really missing out if you don't go to one. I can totally understand the fear of like, I don't know, man, or, you know, like, it might be scary. What if people don't like my stuff? What if they don't accept me? Or like, they will. I promise you they will. Man, when I went to my first Brickvention, the amount of people that came up to me, and I made so many friends in such a short period of time just because people were like, yeah, man, your mock's really cool, you know? And it was really cool. It was really, really awesome. Everyone welcomed me with, like, open arms. It was incredible. And that's happened at every convention I've gone to, even at conventions where I've not even displayed stuff and I've just been a member of the public. The people there are lovely. Every convention, anywhere, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, people will be like, hey man, what's your name? Where you from? Like, let me talk to you about my mock. What do you build? Like, I'd love to know. Like, you know, people are incredible there. So I couldn't recommend going more. If you haven't gone to one, that is your mistake. You're missing out. It's a good time. Oh, I missed a question. Ah, oh, dang it. Well, let's cycle back to this question that I missed here, and then we'll continue our chat about conventions, because I've already tempted you a little bit with my love of conventions and why you should go, but we can elaborate on that a little bit more. I'll talk to you about what exactly I will be doing at Brickvention and why it's worthwhile and why you'll absolutely love it and why you should come to any LEGO convention. I have to come to Brickvention. I understand most of you live in the US, so you might be like, but Ben, that's like a 24-hour flight to Australia. I'm not doing that. And I'm like, fair enough. But have a little commercial break here. Let's jump into the question by Pyrex Mox, and he asks, when did you start mocking? When I was born. I actually left my mother carrying a Lego set. The doctors were like, how did that get in there? And I was like, and I immediately started building the second I was born. Obviously not true, but my entire life I've been building and mocking with Lego, that is for sure. But I guess it kind of depends how you define mocking, because some people might be like, we're just building stuff as a kid, that's not necessarily mocking. I don't know, like, I kind of disagree with that, but I have heard some people say that before. So when I sort of started seriously mocking was probably in about 2007 when I lived in America. I lived in America for a couple of years around that time, specifically Chicago. That's how I came to Brickworld. That was when I just looked at it as a public guest and just sort of looked around. And then seeing all the incredible stuff there, I was like, whoa, this is incredible. And I remember there being this little sign at Brickworld, and it was like, check out these websites. And I was like, I know about Brickshelf. I know about, what's Mock Pages? And this guy's like, oh, it's like Brickshelf, but you can comment on stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's a great idea. And then suddenly discovering Mock Pages and being like, well, and then starting to post and stuff. But everything at Brickworld really inspired me, and that's when I started to like want to really push my mocking more. And kept building really cool stuff that I got inspired by from Brickworld and all that, which is cool. So I would say seriously mocking about 2007, but when I first posted online, that was October 1st, 2010, and that was this mock, which was a Tahu Stars revamp, which was him all in his cool golden armor, and that was the first mock that I posted. Not the first mock that I made. I don't really know what that was. That's really hard to define for me, because, like I said, I feel like my first mock that I made was when I was like 2 or something. But that was the first one I posted online, at least. And then, while we're talking about early stuff that I posted online, here is the first version of Cossy, which, this was, I remember seeing someone post something, and I was like, I'm going to build a mock that's me. I'm going to build myself mock. And then I bought Surge set, and I was actually going to buy goodness, what's the green Hero Factory girl's name? Breeze, Natalie Breeze. I was going to buy her, and actually Cossy was going to be Lime and have her mask. And I was going to use Surge's weapons, but I bought Surge first just on, I don't know, I just did. And then I was like, I don't want to wait and buy Breeze. I'll just make myself mock with this color scheme and this mask. And so then I made it. That didn't turn out how I wanted it to. I was like, it's okay. It was really skinny and weird. I don't know if I quite like it. And then from there, I kind of left it for a bit. And then I was like, actually, this is a Mark Surge revamp. This is not my self mock. And then I think I got inspired by Callan Lord of Fire. And I was like, actually, I'm gonna take some notes from that. And then I built Cossy in his more greebled form, and then I kept advancing that, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna revamp him, and then he is what he currently is. So yeah, that was early version 1 of Cossy, which when I posted it, I was like, nope, it's a Mark Surge revamp. It's not Cossy. No. It was cool. It was really cool. So that is some of my early stuff, and yes, so about 2007, I would say. That's when I started mocking. So back to the convention talk. So let me talk you through my rough timetable for Brickvention 2019. So, pretty much what the plan is, I leave Perth at midnight, the midnight flight, the red-eye flight. Normally I try to sleep because my chair is squeaking, because I stay up, I wake up when I normally wake up, and I don't go to bed because I'm so excited, and then the flight's at midnight, there's no point in going to sleep. But it's a good idea to normally sleep on that flight, but I don't, because I can't, I'm too excited. So I just watch the in-flight movies. Looking forward to maybe watching like Rogue One or something on the plane. That'd be fun. I want to watch some Star Wars. That'd be good. If not, last time they had Rebels on there. I might watch some Rebels. Anyway, besides the point, I'll be on the plane. Then, it's Brickventure time. I head on down and I set up my mock. And then I stay up a full, 30 hours because I've been up from whenever I woke up that day before. And I took the flight and I didn't sleep. And then I set up my mock. And then I don't go to bed until it's bedtime. And so I've been up for a long time. And I'm normally messed up, but it helps me beat the jet lag. And I don't mind because I'm on adrenaline because I'm at Brickvention and it's fun. And then I crash and I fall asleep. And then I wake up the next day and I'm like, I'm in Melbourne. I didn't even realize I was so out of it. And then it's Brickventure time. That's the exhibitor day. So the exhibitor day is a load of fun because there's no public. And you can just look around at all the stuff and there's no crowds. It's great. So that's when there's the awards. So that's when you can possibly win some sweet sets and some trophies. There's competitions like build in a bag. So they give you a little poly bag and you have to build in the bag, which is a fun little challenge. You can do that with certain sets. There's some stuff like Mixels or older poly bags and stuff that literally just came as a one bag. All the pieces were in one bag and you just build it in the bag. It's a bit difficult, but it's a fun challenge. I have won that multiple times. Proud of that. And I will win again this year, calling it. Then what else is there? Let me get the let me actually look at the schedule that I've written for myself. That'll be a good thing. Okay, so here's my little schedule. So I do the building bag. There'll be some various presentations from people. So one of the someone from Lego Australia is going to be heading down, and they'll be talking a little bit about that. That was a lot of fun to listen to in the past. Some of those guys have come down before, and they sort of just talk about these are some of our plans, these are some of the things we got going on, and you can ask some of the hard-hitting questions like, where's our Lego Overwatch? Because I don't think we're getting any in Australia, which is ridiculous. Anyway. And so there's various presentations from other AFOLs and things. Beyond the Brick will be there, so I'll be hearing a presentation from them and talking to those guys. Should be lots of fun. There's an auction, so they have some auctions there. All the money goes to charity too. It's really fun to not bet on that and just watch people, because people are like, money goes to charity? Okay. And then it's like, here's a poly bag. They're like, $400. And it's like, what? It's not worth that much, but it's for charity, so that's great. Then we got Dirty Brickster, which is like a Chris Kringle thing. So it's like everyone brings a Lego set, you put it in the middle, you open it up. Oh, I got this. You steal it from someone else, and it's one of those things. It's so much fun. There's often really good sets that appear in that. It's great fun. I love doing those. The awards, like I said. There's the VIP night, which is a fun little cocktail party, which is always good. Then there's, of course, the 2 exhibitor days with the public people coming. Nothing more fun than just standing by your mocks and just hearing public reactions. Just people being like, wow, that's so cool. Or seeing little kids and their face lights up and they're like, whoa, it's cool. Then there's an after party at the Legoland Discovery Centre in Brickvention, which is awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's supposed to have the largest minifigure swap in the world there, apparently, which is going to be fun. So we get to trade all our minifigures and get some cool stuff. There's also some sweet discounts happening. Got the Pick-a-Brick wall, and I think they're doing some crazy thing where it's like you get a larger cup of Pick-a-Brick, which will be great. And then apparently we get to play on the kids' play equipment and not get strange looks because it's an adult night, which I'm so excited about that. Oh my goodness. So that'll be fun. And then honestly, throughout the whole public day, pretty much I just talk to all the different exhibitors and have so much fun doing so, just to be like, oh, you know, talk to me about your mock, or just like, how you doing, and just catching up with friends and just learning about people's process, just talking Lego. It's so much fun. It's so nice. And then, of course, there's all the people selling Lego there. I spent ages walking around and being like, I wish I could buy that, or just being like, I will buy that. Really good fun, really nice. Then, no, I said the VIP night. Then there's the other day of building and stuff. Oh, and then I've scheduled a whole bunch of things with some of my friends, so we'll head down to some nice restaurants, have a good time chatting there, have some good food. Melbourne has great food. It's gonna be great. As well as we'll just check out the Lego at the different shops in Melbourne, because some of the shops in Melbourne are really good, and there's some awesome mocks on display at the places that you can buy Lego there. It's really cool. I'll check out the comic shops there, because I love me some comic shops. And also, I've scheduled some things with my friends. We've got a little bit of a Secret Santa thing going on, so we're going to make each other little models and give them out to each other, so we get some fun little mock gifts, which will be very nice, very fun. And we're planning a few parts drafts. We're all gonna buy certain Lego sets. We'll all chip in on the price. So it'll be a thing of like, we buy, I don't know, like a $200 Lego set, but there's a bunch of us, so we only spend like $20 each. And then we part out the set. And then we pick out, okay, I actually want these parts, I want these parts, and then we walk away with the set parts that we'll actually use from the set. So, you know, when you buy a set for pieces and you're kind of like, yeah, I'm going to use these, but then there's certain pieces in it, you're like, I'm actually not going to use those. Well, that's the beautiful thing about a parts draft, is that you can just get the pieces that you want and then spend a little bit less money, and you know, it's really worth it. And especially too, if you buy multiple of the one set, and then you get like a whole bunch of them in there. So instead of getting like 4 of that cool exclusive part, you get like 20 of that cool exclusive part in the set. So parts drafts are really cool. So we'll be doing a few of those, which will be good. We'll also chip in that and get the pieces that we want and stuff. It'll be really good fun. And I think, I'm not sure if we'll do it, because I'm a little bit unsure about when we'll have time, because it's a busy time. I will be bringing a Dungeons and Dragons game with me, so I might be playing that with some of my friends. I don't know yet. I'm still on the fence about if I'll have space to bring it, but I'm on the fence about if we'll have time to play it. But I may as well bring it just in case. There's a lot of cool stuff happening. So if that hasn't tempted you to join a LEGO convention, I don't know what will. So by all means, come on down to a LEGO convention at some point. There'll be some near you. They're worthwhile going to. I promise you this. So there. That's it for this episode of BIS for the Fans. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next episode. Have a great day. Happy building. And let me know if you're going to a convention soon, if I've tempted you and you want to go, because it's worth it. I promise. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one. Bye for now.